had a chance to explain earlier, this has been a project that's been in work for some time, and this is the landing screen. It's not currently available. This is essentially not on our site. We're anticipating launching it in February. We want to get a good marketing campaign around it because we want people to come to it and play with it. So it's not live just yet. So you're actually the first folks not involved in the rights committee to see it. And if you're already involved in the rights committee, you can go to sleep now. So this is the landing screen. There is a sign-in screen that I've already gone through that we use to essentially keep robots from scraping the entire database. So you have to check in periodically and re-sign in. But this one talks about, the landing screen talks about having about 1,800 imprints. We're looking for input, and we also are not responsible if you use this and things go badly wrong. That's the legal advice. So I'm just clicking on the proceed button. It's a pretty simple screen. So you can, and it's fairly robust. So if you put in something that has, if you actually know how to type, you put in random, you're going to see quite a bit in terms of the imprints. If you pick something that's a little bit less common, I'm just going to use HIS. Here you can see the responses we have from both history of books as well. If you go down history unboxed, which is not one of history's imprints. If you added a fourth letter and did the search, you would get only history. It's waking up. So one of the things I think that's interesting within this is that you can be fairly specific or fairly broad. If you're looking for a specific imprint that you may have that exists already, when we do just history, you'll note that there are notes in this that come with this say that it's active, it's a current imprint. We're going to work on perhaps being able to sort that by fields. That's not going to be in the first release, but it's a way to essentially say, show me an imprint that actually exists, and or here's one that I don't know if it exists or not. Let me just search more broadly. If you, for whatever imprints do come back, if you find the one that you want, so you want to, for example, ask for permissions from history books, you click on this contact button. And you can automatically mail from it. You can also click on the sidebar button for permissions and get information about if you wanted to write outside of a contact form. We also have the same thing here for subrights. If it's the same name, it's just duplicated. In these two cases, the database that we set up separates permissions and subrights. We could have others, but we wanted to keep it relatively simple. And again, you have the ability to email directly or to copy the information to a clipboard and use it in whatever way you want. There's an opportunity to edit. This is actually an instance of, so if you wanted to edit it, we have a small message that says bots are often with us. This is a nod to Todd Carpenter and AI. And it says, help us manage your impact by telling us your name and email. After that, generally you get a 6-digit code. We put it in and you have access to it. But you can go through and let me see if I can. Does everybody know my email? So let me see if now you can read my email, which would actually be really helpful for me if you would. I'm really glad that I cleared out the 300 old emails yesterday. All right, so. I mean, this is a little clunky, we'll admit, from the standpoint of user interface, but we're also concerned that we've done a lot of work and we don't want to just give it away, particularly not give it away to It may not be AI, but it's at least bots. And so we want to protect that piece of the database. So what comes up here, you can suggest an edit. It could be, you could be the publisher. That would be the ideal case. And say, well, I've actually added this as part of a division. That you can add a source for the particular change in record in the email. That's recommended, and we'll have language around that. And then you can also update things like the permissions contact or the subrights contact. And it defaults and shows you what the information is for each of those already. When you're done, you can submit the suggestion that doesn't automatically publish. It goes to a queue that should be able to show you. So this is editing the master database. We can also review proposed changes. This is just mock-up data, but here it's essentially telling you proposed changes, and you have the option as a administrator, as one of the staff, to approve, modify, or reject. If it's spam, we would reject it, and if it's something that looks legitimate or we know is legitimate rather than looks legitimate, we would approve it. And if we're not sure, we would seek guidance from people who would be knowledgeable. So it's relatively well set up on the back end. It's not set up for bulk input right now. If we got bulk input, we would handle that offline and do an update to the full database. But for any publisher that's here that isn't in the database when we go live, you can add it using this mechanism, and there's at least a check. And there are other things that are within this in the back end that are interesting. But as you can see, it's got a lot of moving parts, the ability to look at things, and also the ability to automatically find out who to talk to for rights and permissions. And that's it.
Nice. I want to say there's one more feature that I like, which is still to be refined, I think. But when you click that email, you can send an email directly, and the person who receives that email, writes at Penguin Random House, will know that it came from this directory and will be able to feed back some information about it, so that if, for example, it's not a PRH imprint or whatever, there's an opportunity for a conversation. Again, this is different in a way than any of the marketplaces we were talking about. This is about an imprint, and no transactions are happening here. This is just the first step on, you want to find out, can you get rights to a book? This is the imprint that I know about. I'm going there to find out.
Right.
So we have a lot of good stuff in there, and that's your demo.
Thanks.
Is there anything else we should build or talk about in the next few minutes, or should we just go over here and yes?
Hi, I have a quick question regarding the imprint directory. So just to double check, this would include imprints that have become defunct or acquired over the years.
Yes.
Perfect. As a permissions coordinator, I can't tell you how many times I've had to send an email being like, sorry, the rights to this title are held by X publisher that doesn't exist anymore. Unfortunately, I don't know who to refer you to. Come February, would it be preferable for me to go into the directory and then pass along that contact information, or to pass along a link, for example, to the directory itself?
So someone's asking Chicago, that's where you're
right.
Chicago Press.
Chris, you want to just use the microphone?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me get your use case. Someone's writing to University of Chicago Press saying, I would like permission to excerpt something from a U Chicago book. Right. So University of Chicago published a book from Farrar Reinhardt, I'm taking an old publishing company, and they think it's a University of Chicago book, and it's a Farrar Reinhardt book, but you don't know where Farrar Reinhardt is. Now you could look here if you wanted to, or easier, tell them, go check. I would say, yeah, and we'll let you know when it's live.
Yeah,
Right?
we won't have the thing
We're
we're
gonna-
waiting on actually is just to work out the launch plan, which won't take us but a couple of weeks. I think we need to just talk about what language and how to promote it. But I would say that there are two use cases. One is that something has changed and what the answer is, and you can go in and suggest the change. I put up, we've taken it down here, but the the Workman acquisition by Hachette. So, Workman imprints that then ultimately roll up to Hachette. So you would go to an Hachette address at some point. And somebody at Hachette can make that suggestion, or somebody at Workman can say, look, we're updating our name. You may also say, I don't know where this is. It's not in your database. Can you help? And we would look into that. That would probably take us a little bit more time.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks, everybody, really, for coming. We look forward to any feedback you have about this day. Thank you. If you didn't get a pretty notebook and a pen, did I already say this? You can ask Liz and she'll give you a good looking notebook and a fun pen.